Writing is not easy because most students suddenly get stuck when they're asked to write about something. But you can take care of that problem if you follow some steps about writing. Some of the steps are as follows. Let us say you're supposed to write about something and you're looking at the sky, and then you start writing and you write the first sentence, the sky is blue. Then you feel, oh, I've told everything there is to be said. The sky is blue and that's all I can write. I don't know what else to write. But now to write, what you have to do is to think, observe, experiment, explore, guess, imagine, and ask questions. So after you write the sentence sky is blue, then observe the sky and see if you can see something else. Maybe birds flying or a tree somewhere in the background. And okay, that's a description, but let's assume there are no birds, there's now no tree, you're just looking at the sky. Then you're stuck. What am I going to do? Then experiment. Look at the sky with squinted eyes. Does the sky look blue? Does it look different? Lace your fingers and put them in front of your eyes and see the sky through them. How does the sky look? Along with observing and experimenting, now you can think about what you're seeing. Ask yourself, why is the sky blue? How the sky looks different in the day and in the night. And maybe you'll ask a question, is there really something called a sky? Is it like a roof over our head? And if it is a roof, can I poke it? Use your ideas of guessing and imagination. Just stare at the sky and then ask yourself, is the sky like a blue bulb which is turned on in the morning and put off in the night? Is it like a bubble filled with a film of water? You can imagine anything you want. And that is the beauty of writing. And finally, when you are stuck and you think you don't know what to write, always ask questions. And one of the easiest ways to writing is to recognize that when you ask a question and you yourself answer it, that is what leads to writing. That's a very important point. So you're constantly thinking and questioning as you write. And when you ask a question and write, think of an answer and write it down, you'll see that your writing is growing and growing and growing. So many times we are doing very interesting things about writing. You write about what you observe, experiment, etc. But suppose you want to write about something which you cannot see and experiment. In such a case, how will you start writing? So in many cases like this, what you're doing when you write is about you're describing what you're imagining. And when you imagine something, you might even see that imagination inside your head. Suppose you're imagining a girl flying on an elephant. So when you imagine a girl on an elephant, you see the girl inside your head. And then writing about what you imagine, therefore, is not very different from what you see and hear inside you. And that's why in all these cases, you have to learn to experiment with what you see and hear inside you. In all this, there is one constant aspect, and that is thinking. And thinking is an important part of writing. And writing is a lot like thinking. Remember when we talked about thinking in one of our earlier lessons, we learned that thinking is a way of going from one point to another. It is like a river flowing. We start at one point and through thinking reach another point. Thinking is like walking and exploring. Writing is also like this. If you look at your lesson and suppose you begin to read it, you start with the first word and just keep going on, as we saw in the class on reading. You finish the first sentence, go to the next sentence, ... And writing is like the water which is flowing like a river. That's what you're actually reading, right? When you start at the point, keep going further and further down. Sometimes the river goes straight down from the top of the hill to the ground. Sometimes it winds down and looks like a big snake which is moving across the land. Now suppose you sat in a boat in Haridwar on the river Ganges and imagine going with the river. Where would your boat go? Will you end up in Kolkata? How will you reach there? The path you take to reach a particular place is like writing. So thinking, imagination, and writing is like the river Ganga. You sit on your idea and then let the boat keep going where it can. Sometimes you control the boat and take it where you want it to go, but sometimes it just keeps on going. A constant question which many times students ask is, do you need good language to write? When they say good, they might mean, oh, should I speak properly? Should I know more words? Should you be good in all the languages you speak? But what does being good in a language mean? Because remember, in our earlier lessons, we saw that a language is nothing but some sounds, words, and sentences. So, does it mean we should know more words to know language better? Or better ways of combining those words? Remember, writing does just that. It is a way of combining words, what people call as composing. So, a lot of writing is composing. When you write, you collect different words together to make a sentence. And whenever you have difficulty about it, think of it like a game. Suppose I give you the following 7 words. I just give you 7 words. Work, intelligent, and hard are all students. So there are just these 7 words I have given to you. Imagine that these are the only words that you know and you have been taught. So your dictionary has only these 7 words. Now I say, now write down. Write something. Can you write a big essay just with these 7 words? Remember, all writing is like this, because when we write, we are using the words we know. It may be more than 7, but still it's some standard number, maybe 500, maybe 1000, maybe 2000 words. With those words, you have to write complete books. So remember, all writing is just doing that, working with a set of words that you know and putting them up in different combinations. So I would say writing is a game of trying to see how many sentences you can make with just these words. Try it out and see with these 7 words I gave you. You start writing and see what you get. For example, one sentence you could make is, intelligent, hard are work and students all. You read and say, oh, this is not a correct sentence. So obviously not all combinations have meaning, but just for fun, try and combine them. This is what you're doing when you're composing, combining these words. Try and experiment with making nonsensical sentences just for fun. And you know what? If you really want to have more fun, you can ask yourself, why should I write words next to one another? Why can't I put words one on top of one another? Is that also writing? Is that what when writers do when they do write a poem? So think of this exercise. Can you write a paragraph using only these 7 words? Or if you're really desperate and need more words, how many more words will you need? Suppose I say that you can have 7 more words so that your dictionary is 14 words. Can you write a short story with just those 14 words? So the point is, when you start thinking about writing, don't start thinking about writing in terms of right and wrong. Think of it as a game where you play with words. Try mixing words in different ways. Try writing a sentence in many different ways. So remember that when you do these exercises, you realize that writing is fun and you can write very well when you realize writing is a game that is played with words.
The lesson you just heard was conducted by Professor Sundar Sarukkai. It is drawn from the book Philosophy for Children, Thinking, Reading and Writing by Sundar Sarukkai, published by Ektara Trust. Link to buy the book is in the video description below. This series is a production of Barefoot Philosophers, an initiative to bring philosophy to the public and children. For more information, visit our website at www.barefootphilosophers.com.